characters having at one time lost their place in the world and started on a path that would lead to their ruin.
Yeah, but
he willingly took that bribe.
It's his fault.
Which led to that dude getting away and shooting his partner. It's his fault. There's nothing unjust about that. That was his fault.
Matter of fact, if there was actual justice, he would be in jail. If he just got fired from the force. This is as just an ending for him as possible. Because he f***ed up, got somebody killed, and they went, "You're fired." Not slapping cuffs on him, fired.
Until, just like Journo, the kindness of another person pulled them from that path and saved them from that ruin. But unlike Journo, this time that person would be Bruno Bucciarati. Bruno's parents divorced when he was a young child, and when asked who he would rather live with, he chose to stay with his father, not because he preferred him, but because he knew the man would be unable to cope at the loss of his wife and son, while his mother would likely go on to remarry and have another family. And
he ain't gonna
this
make it
is the
through the
kind
night.
of person Bucciarati
I'm gonna
is,
say here.
filled with empathy and compassion for those around him, and particularly those that have been cast off of society. And this
Okay, so that's different from Gio. How? Why is Gio on a pedestal? When Bruno can be just as just and righteous and cruel and malice?
Why is he getting the silver medal in this when he's doing all that stuff as well as being just a character?
No. He had the gold medal, and then they just went, okay, we're swapping it for the silver.
It's like La La Land and Moonlight, where the winner is Bruno Bucciarati, Gio.
Actually, could you sit back down?
Oh, I feel so sorry for you, mafiosa.
This is what brings him.
And then pause. Nanacha wasn't brought in by Bruno. He was brought in by Fugo.
Mm-hmm.
And then he specifically said, "Don't join this gang. Go out and do something else." And then Nanacha went up to Popo and got a stand and went, "Yeah, I'm stand user now. You gotta take me." But I guess we're not counting Nanacha.
And this is what brings him into the lives of the other characters, finding each one of them at their lowest point and saving them from a life of misery by showing them the love and friendship that's absent.
Oh, next to Fugo. As Fugo walked in and said, "I'd like to buy this young man a plate of spaghetti." That line is so stupid and I love it. Why are you yelling this? Get him spaghetti, you idiot. I hate Fugo. Busts into the room. I'd like to. What are you doing? Walk into a Coney Island like, "I'd like to buy 6 hot dogs, please." Walk up to the counter and get them.
Fire up those grills, because I sure am hungry.
That's exactly what it's like.
Every other facet of their lives, as he gives them new purpose as a member of the squad. Bruno believes in Mista, Fugo, Abbacchio, and Rancia. He sees the good in them where no one else did, and because
he's yelling at him, "Do not join this gang. You got a good life. Go back to your daddy and don't join this gang of mobsters and killers." Oh, thank you for saving me, Bruno. That's not what happened with Nanacha.
This, they have developed an intense loyalty and affection for him. And so the answer as to what binds these characters...
And pause. If you look at somebody like Abbacchio, he just walked up to an alley and just went, "Join the gang." Somebody like Misa, it was, "Hey, I got you out of this. This was an unjust imprisonment. Join my gang." That's something different. But
I read that you took bribes and you got your partner killed. You're just the type of man I'm looking for. Huh? This what?
And so the answer as to what binds these characters together is simple. It's each other. While Part 4 saw major improvements in Araki's...
Can you think of one conversation that Fugo had with Mista? One-on-one,
nope,
where he turned to him and said, "Mista, I'm talking to you now."
No.
What about Abbacchio and Mista?
No.
Mista and Abbacchio? Not Nanacha and Abakio.
No.
Okay. What a tight knit group. What a family.
While Part 4 saw major improvements in Araki's ability to write believable, compelling characters, it's in Part 5 when we see him
He dials it back for these pieces of that have no goals until until halfway through the story, and they have no resolve until they turn to this blind dude.
They would have just been on the straight and narrow otherwise.
Oh, we're cool with drugs.
Nobody had a problem. But Bruno never spoke about this with his gang members. The
probably
people underneath him just went, hey, if you see some drugs, just slap it out of the kid's hand or something.
For what?
I guess that's the next part of the conversation. For what? Drugs are bad. But we kill
But
people.
Bruno, we sell drugs in our community.
I'm declaring war on anybody who sells drugs in the community. But Black Dynamite, I sell drugs in the community. But yeah, they're murderers, and these are people who are under, even if they're not murderers, which they are, because Mista went, hey, that Rolling Stone, and he instantly went, I'ma cap you.
Yeah, he rolled up them bullets like click, click, click.
So they're either confirmed killers or underneath confirmed killers, and Mista just has a problem with Bruno just has a problem with drugs, and he's never expressed this to his underlings.
I feel like he would just go, hey, how do you guys feel about the drugs around here? Oh, we're good with them. Can't talk to them about this then. Filling them out.
ability to convey the relationships that exist between those characters. Bruno's squad feel like a family, and
No, they don't.
No, they just do not.
I don't understand any.
Can you think of 2 fun moments they had?
I mean, their intro.
That's the only one I was thinking of. That's why I said 2. Where he pitched in the cup and everybody snickering on the side. There's nothing. What is this family? At best, they're a dysfunctional family. Because they're like, I'll beat the shit out of you. I'll cut you. You're a piece of stupid person.
But again, when you look at Abakio dying and Nanacha is just going, fix him. And then you think back, like, did they ever have a conversation? That's hard to believe.
We are, like Giorno, brought into the world of this gang. We're brought into this quote-unquote family.
And we just have to sit there and accept the
that
fact
they're a family. No proof. We, as the audience, don't get to see that. They just have to be... we just are told, oh yeah, they're real close.
If Gang Orca was crying over Midnight in My Hero and they were fix it, and it's just like, well, they had a relationship and they're teachers and they're all part of UA and stuff, you just like, what? Really?
I cannot remember 3 words they said to each other.
I can't remember 3 words that they said to each other. We just have to sit there and accept the fact that, well, they're part of the same team, so the sad.
We see a lot of conversation between Tsunade and Jiraiya. So when he dies and she's sad, you understand why she's sad. Why is the gang sad? When Abakio dies, when he has not had a one-on-one conversation with 80% of them from what we can see.
He had a bunch of conversations with Gio, though.
Giorno is brought into after a chance encounter with Bruno. The two discover that they have a shared goal: to expose the dangerous anonymous boss of El Pasión, defeat him, and rid the organization of its drug trade.
No, that was not Bruno's goal. Bruno was fine just getting rid of the drugs. However that may be. He wasn't going, I'm going to beat the boss to do it. He just went, how can I get rid of these drugs?
If he gets high enough, he can just go, hey, boss, can we get rid of the drugs? I'm a level 3 instead of like a level 6 soldier.
Drugs are ruining our business in these areas. Let's get rid of them. You got it, Bruno.
Or at the very least go, okay, I know where the drugs are being trafficked because I am a high-ranking member. I can stop it and just go, whoop, somebody else stole them. We're going to go hunt them down for you, boss. And just continue to do that.
Anything.
Anything. But not just defeat boss, because that was not his goal.
Once and for all. Setting the group on a journey of battle and espionage across Italy as they attempt to gain the favor of the boss by...
Espionage.
It was really espionage. It's just like, go get me some French water and some tights. And then he got caught.
It wasn't like they were like spies. They just went, here's your mission, my daughter. All right.
No, but he showed somebody in shadows, so that counts.
I guess so.
Attempt to gain the favor of the boss by delivering him his estranged daughter, while also withstanding...
Here you go, new capo. My only daughter. And why would he say, bring her to me instead of go kill this woman?
It's baffling. New capo. You are absolutely right. Because, again, he has a direct underling.
Number 2.
And we don't know who that is and why they couldn't do it. You got this random anonymous dude that just showed up with 5 other dudes. Where you could have just got 5 other dudes with 5 stands and just done this. But this is for some reason. Now's the daughter time.
What was Diablo's plan? Was it just to kill Trish or to study her? Because if it's just kill her, the mission is go kill this woman.
And I don't think it was just because he could have just grabbed Trish and just thrown her down the elevator shaft. But he took her and he's holding her going, Bruno, walk away. You don't need to do this. Or he could have just went... Because there was a bunch of time between Bruno going, I need to get down the elevator shaft. I'm yelling about the injustices of the world. Where he could, what was his plan? And why didn't he just immediately King Crimson chop?
I literally don't know what his plan is as far as Trish goes. Because he was good enough to just take her hand and just be like, okay, that's it. She's probably bleeding out. I don't care.
Why couldn't he behead her at that moment? Why did he King Crimson chopped the arm, but the head, because he's not just gonna, her head is gone, she's fine. He's gonna go after her. So what's the difference between beheading and chopping the hand?
He had to have been wanting to study her or something.
But that was never vocalized.
I don't even know his plan when it comes to Trish. What was Diablo's plan?
Sides from the other cells of El Pasión. Where part 5 really starts to come into its own is where this increased focus on relationships begins to change the dynamic of the stand battles. While the first half of the series consists mostly of one-on-one encounters designed to introduce us to each individual members of the squad, about halfway through that focus shifts to multi-person stand battles.
Pause. No, that was in the beginning.
Yeah, that was like the 3rd fight.
Man in the Mirror was a multi-person fight.
Correct.
What? We got like 3 one-on-one fights. Bruno, Narancia, and Mista. This was a multi-person. You don't say this is halfway through and it's clearly not. Man in the Mirror was not halfway through.
6. It's not the episode 6. This is episode 5 and 6 because I was watching JoJo's the dub. This was the 5th episode. So there's
one-on-one fights afterwards. There's exactly 2. And then they go right into the multi-person.
And are we acting like there wasn't a lot of group stuff in the other parts? The final battle, no. Jotaro and Koichi. That was a group battle.
Superfly. No. Yeah, Superfly. Multi-person. Josuke Okiyasu, Alien, Superfly. Rohan.
Yep, that was a multi one. So what does this even matter? What does this even mean?
Relationships. Unique to part 5,
Dude.
yo. Unique.
That we now got fate, theme, and relationship. It's the most theme heavy. It has a lot to do with fate/resolve, and now relationship. What are we even talking about?
We gotta make this good somehow.
Dude, what the
Jojo has dabbled in this kind of encounter before. It's never been to this extent.
Oh,
or
it's
done
dabbled
this well.
in it before.
With our hero
Never been to this extent.
It's dabbled in it. Okay, dude.
There's a bunch of weak nothing stands in part 5. The main characters have a bunch of weak nothing stands, and they all complement each other. But you gotta look at the blonde haired dude. Like, why aren't you just taking care of this? And the couple one-on-one fights we get are some of the best of the part. White Album, amazing. Beach Boys / Grateful Dead, they were 2 one-on-one fights, really. Amazing.
So good.
This group is where it starts breaking down.
Because you got people standing around doing nothing. You got Abakio who needed to be killed. Otherwise, he's literally standing around doing nothing.
No, nothing. Fugo? Nothing.
The last rush against Kira, where it's just stop time, and he's about to click the button. Koichi not there. They're all dead.
was now
What did Mista do in this fight? Almost nothing.
spent or done this well. With our heroes now having to team up to take on teams of stand users or combine their powers to take down one hyper powerful enemy. And where this gets really
Like other parts.
Like Vanilla Ice? Like Vanilla Ice? Like Vanilla Ice?
That doesn't count. It wasn't done this well.
Oh.
He's not going to explain how it's done well, other than the fact that I'm going to imbue your bullets with anything that I want. And then they're going to turn into anything that I want. And then they're going to turn back from that thing into another thing, into another thing.
Did he punch those bullets after they were shot?
No, he didn't.
So how
He
did
can
those...
do it long range, remember?
But he has to punch it.
No, he doesn't. He can do it long range. He did it with the banana.
No. Because remember, Popo opens the thing up. His fridge is open too. And he's talking while sipping wine. And then Gio goes and punches it with his stand.
No, he doesn't. He just holds out his hand.
That could be seen as the punch at least.
His range isn't that long.
So
He can do it long range, dude. Accept it. He can just hold out his hand and just go, shoot. Here you go.
again, did he time bomb that banana?
It makes no sense. It's the dumbest thing.
Because when that frog came back to him, Koichi's suitcase, that was the frog, he went, "Oh, you came back?" So it's not like he has control over it.
Unless he does, when he can send it back to Babyface.
The fly is following you. For what? Who even cares?
Oh, there's so much with his powers that are so dumb.
fun is how different characters' abilities can synergize to produce surprising effects.
No, it's literally Giorno going, "I'm gonna imbue it with everything."
We never saw, like, Bruno zipping Aerosmith into two separate planes and them going into two separate directions or anything.
We never saw Moody Blues rewinding some and helping them out. We've never saw any of this.
We saw a lot with Gio, though.
We saw Gio going, shoot the bullets, and I'm going to make it a tree.
And that's enough.
And
that's teamwork,
enough.
yo. That's teamwork.
What are we doing here? Where was Narancia ex Mista?
They got a really good one in Eyes of Heaven. Eyes of Heaven has some really good combo attacks.
Okay.
And he has a really good one where he's shooting at the end, the Aerosmith comes down, and one of the bullets is piloting it. And it's super good.
That sounds
but yeah,
amazing.
it didn't happen in...
No. So whose stands are melding together? Trish didn't meld with anybody.
Fugo literally can't.
Abakio didn't.
You know who did? Journal.
Like Journo imbuing Mista's bullets with life, giving them secondary functions after they've hit their targets.
And who
this
else?
Also means
And who else and what else? What other examples
what
do
other
you have?
examples?
There's all these team attacks. There's all these group battles, like you said. But what else do we have other than Gio doing it?
You don't see Sex Pistols deflecting Aerosmith's bullets.
That'd be great.
You don't see stuff like that. You see this moment.
This also means that directly less powerful stands can now become feasible, like Tiziano's Talking Head, a stand that attaches itself...
Okay, but no. What about the group?
What about the group?
What you were talking about?
It makes sense for them, sure. I'm going to match you up with somebody that complements your stand. But what about the group? This did it better than any other part.
You got Moody Blues floating his arm, his severed hand back, but that's about it? Everything else is just Misa getting shot by his own bullets. Fugo doing nothing.
Causing them to say the opposite of whatever they mean to. Not a powerful ability by itself, but one that becomes very dangerous when coupled with the more directly offensive stands like Squallow's Clash. Talking Heads allowing the pair to sow chaos among the ranks of their enemies as their communication is disrupted and they struggle to both understand and communicate how and from where they are being attacked. Squallow and...
Sure, that's great. That is fantastic. I love that.
Yeah.
That was great.
I love Clash and Talking Head. Oceanus.
We're not talking about that. But then how does Beach Boy and Grateful Dead coincide? Really doesn't. Because Grateful Dead can just wait until they're dead as they're slowly and surely getting older. Doesn't really need Beach Boys. Unless you're like in an open area.
Or it's the winter.
But this one, yeah. Green Day and Oasis, you can make them go lower by Oasis, but if there's a group, you got to spread out, and then you breaking off. So they're not really coinciding with each other either. So you got these two, and who else?
You got these two, and you got Giorno Mista. Better than anybody else.
OP.
Tiziano show something else about Part 5, and that is that the concept of relationships is not just reserved for our heroes, but is also a large part of the enemy stand users. We can tell from how Squallow and Tiziano...
They're grouped together by the gang. You either get along or you don't. And if you don't, you're going to end up killing each other. And we have two groups of people that are relationship heavy. these two and Green Day and Oasis. And then the other one turns around and goes, oh, he was killed? Good. Because he was a piece of anyway.
And I don't care.
So we got, again, one.
The Pillar Man had a good relationship.
Oh, two. Grateful Dead and Beach Boy. They had a good relationship.
Pillar Man had a good relationship. They knew each other's quirks and eccentricities. They're like, why'd you let him get away? They're talking to each other. They went, oh, Santana, he was weak. Who cares? It was just like, oh, man, you killed AC/DC? Oh, man. They had a good relationship. But I guess we're not counting them.
Guess we're not.
Around each other that they are most likely romantically connected. A possible reason their stands work so well together being because of the bond that has formed between them. You can see relationships.
They're busted together. You don't need to be relationship heavy. You busted. Put Green Day in there instead of Clash and just go don't go down there, and then they go down there and then they're mold. Done. The lying thing is busted when combined with something else. Even the shark thing by itself is busted. By itself. So you don't even really... That is a terrible design. Yeah. You don't even really need anybody else.
Everywhere.
No. He went, that piece of betrayed me and went to go get the money by himself.
This was the one conversation that they had.
No.
In part 5, and in particular in...
No, we never see them have a conversation in real time.
And it's all reactionary, how are we going to get to the boss? Not, hey, we're friends, we're doing stuff.
Except Beach Boy and Grateful Dead.
Think of a conversation between Man in the Mirror and Littlefoot. You can't. It's nothing. Nothing happened there.
White Album and Grateful Dead? Nothing?
Oh, we're just told that they're a group and that they're family and they have a relationship, and we're just supposed to accept it because they're together in the same room.
This is that Naruto Sasuke bullshit again. We're best friends and we've always been, haven't we, audience? Oh, you don't remember? Here you go. That never happened. Yes, it did.
Risotto's Hitman Squad, the enemy group of stand users also attempting to expose the boss. When one of their members is killed, we see the others attend his funeral, and it's a small touch, but it's also like, oh shit, this isn't just a collection.
Anime only. Whoops. Didn't happen.
Of isolated bad guys, but a group of people who...
Yes, they're literally a group.
Group does not automatically equal sign family.
Or even friends. Have you never been grouped together in a school project? You could not give a about all of them.
What's Shino and Hinata's relationship? Have we seen them talk to each other? They're a group. They're a squad. Ow.
Bad guys, but a group of people who genuinely care about each other the same way Bruno Squad does.
Pause. No. They constantly were just like, Littlefoot, you suck. And he went, oh, I'm going to show them that I don't suck by bringing back this information. They didn't seem like they cared about Littlefoot. It looked like they were making fun of Grateful Dead quite a lot as well. Not Grateful Dead, Beach Boys.
Because he was a coward. And he had no confidence. There was one person that believed him, and that was Grateful Dead. And he went, I'm going to make you better. No, you're going to make yourself better. Don't ever say you're dead, because by the time we say it, you're already dead.
Oh, it's so good.
And then he's sitting back and just like, by the time I say it, and then his face changes everything.
It's so good. That Beach Boy is so good. Them Buzz Ocean and and not talk, just ain't talking about it, but it's so because it's got nothing to do with fate or resolve. It's characters having a great fight, growing,
great
changing.
moments.
Resolve. Why didn't he talk about resolve when he's just like, I'ma split my heart so it'll stop beating? Uh-oh, I can't split it back. I'm too weak. Go back, Bullet, and tell them my story.
With there being even more pronounced relationships that exist between its individual members.
No, it's two people.
The implied relationship between Gelato and Sorbet, the weird sub-dom thing going on with Chocolato and Secco, but my
He was like, he's a piece of and I hate him. Get him out of here.
Once that happened. So, what does that say about his character? Was he always like that? Was he just pretending to cover up his sadness? We don't know. Because we're just introduced to these two people, and then all of a sudden he goes, well, fix him.
We're introduced to two people, and he goes, wow, that piece of betrayed me and went for the money himself.
favorite of these relationships, which also heavily contributes to one of the best fights in all of JoJo.
Good man.
Good man.
Good
Ocean.
man.
Not Ocean. Wolf, this is already less than a -10.
Yes, you got a point for that.
It's
Whatever
automatically
it is,
the worst
plus
you
a
can
point.
get is -9. Beach Boy is amazing.
Beach Boy is amazing.
You pieces of talk about Beach Boy.
They sleeping on Beach Boys in favor of Muff and Babyface. On what planet?
One of my favorite parts is Green Day and Oasis. It was fine.
Also heavily contributes to one of the best fights in all of JoJo.
All of
is the
JoJo.
fraternal bond between Prosciutto and Pesci. Prosciutto and Pesci are two enemy stand
Okay, yeah,
users.
you're gonna talk about this because it makes a lot of sense because that was their entire character.
Yeah.
You can be good. No, I can't. Oh, my brother is showing me that I actually can, and I will, and I do. No, you can talk about this.
Yeah.
That's fine.
You got a whole section. Good
Yeah,
for you.
Good for you. But you just went, classic talking heads, they're gay. That's pretty good. But you're going to spend some time on this. That's good. But you're only doing this because you can't really do it and in length for other people.
Around the midpoint of part 5. And part of what makes the encounter
I can't wait
with
for
them
this
so
to go.
compelling is their relationship and how it changes the dynamic of the fight. Out of the two, Prosciutto is the veteran, a hardened mafioso who kills as naturally as he breathes. But Pesci, on the other hand, is the younger and the less confident of the two, often unsure of what step to take next, and in the eyes of Prosciutto, lacking the resolve of a true gangster. A failing Prosciutto frequently admonishes him for. The exact nature of the relationship of the two is unclear, Pesci referring to Prosciutto as his Aniki, which could mean brother, but could also mean like bro. But regardless, what's important is that there is actually a warmth between them.
Yes!
While Prosciutto frequently grows frustrated with Pesci, he still believes in his younger Aniki. Prosciutto keen to drive the gangster he knows Pesci can become. While Prosciutto is Pesci's hero, viewing his Aniki with an older brother like awe.
Pause. Okay, now talk about this with Green Day and Oasis. Both sides of the relationship. Talk about it like that. Talk about that with Clash and Talking Heads. Talk about that with Shrinky Dude and Soft Machine and Kraftwerk. Talk about their both sides of the relationship instead of just going, they got a relationship, looking at them talking they're gay. You're talking about them in these, because there's a lot more to talk about, because there's actually something there as opposed to we're told there's a relationship here, so there is a relationship here.
And that bond is reflected in their fighting style. Prosciutto using his stand The Grateful Dead to gradually age his opponents, while Pesci attacks more directly with his fishing rod stand Beach Boy, designed to keep attackers at bay, allowing Grateful Dead to slowly eke away their life force from a distance. And these are the tactics that allow the two to pin down Bruno's squad aboard a speeding train. But just when it looks like victory is in sight, disaster strikes and Prosciutto is killed, leaving Pesci alone, whose despair awakens.
No, he was still alive, but that's so. Oh, he's just like, he's dead, and it's like, even mangled up like this, he still got Grateful Dead going, because he said, don't release your stand until you're dead. And he looks like he still got his stand going. Here's my resolve. Kill. I thought my first kill would be more impactful. Whatever. Killing all y'all fools. Oh, it's so... Dude, how can this be born from part 5? It's so amazing.
How does part 5 birth this masterpiece?
It's so good.
Dude, this is legit one of the best JoJo's fights.
It's amazing.
It's one of the few worthwhile parts of part 5.
Him a new resolve. The loss of his Anarchy driving Pesci to become the killer his brother always knew he could be, transforming him into a far more dangerous opponent, which both drives up the intensity of the battle's climax, but also imbues the encounter with a tangible sense of emotion. In the same way Mista and the others believe in Bruno and look up to him, Pesci believed in Prosciutto, and so his loss is a painful experience that foreshadows events to come. And it's this kind of focus on the emotions and relationships of the characters.
No, pause. That was the only one.
Yep.
Chill out with that. That was the only
You're trying
one.
to implant all these other groups into this type of relationship. That doesn't happen. Not even with our main characters did this happen. This was the best relationship shown in the entire part.
So don't just go this type of relationship. No, this relationship.
This singular one.
That give the battles of part 5 their heart and edge. The battles of part 5 are also where we can see another of the series' major strengths, and specifically the strength of the anime adaptation. This is the reason I felt comfortable leaving /read out of this video title, as the anime does so much to elevate the story of Golden Winds to the point that it's the first time I'd really recommend an anime of JoJo over the manga. Although it should be noted that at this point Araki's ability to create manga were still developing, with his best work still ahead of him. The anime is beautiful, falling somewhere between the Araki faithful designs of part 3 and the stylistic saturated pop art of part 4. David Productions doing a fantastic job.
You see how we're very quiet about this? We don't care. It looked pretty. It looked good. That's
Yes,
fine.
it's very pretty. And I'm sure the fights look way more bombastic.
Plus, you can actually like see the trails for King Crimson, and it helps you understand it a little bit better. Yeah, that's fine.
But then you have to break the fights down, and if you're breaking the fights down, they're not very good.
The Mista getting shot in the head by his own bullet with White Album. On the page, you can just go, okay, something happened in between here, but not when it's right in front of you. It makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
And a little thing, I would have preferred them, because they went straight into Trish's like halfway design. I would have preferred her first design and then go into
Transition
her.
into.
Yeah, because I really like that one. You put it in the game, but that's a small thing. It's probably just for consistency, budget, whatever.
Of translating the complicated designs of part 5 into animated form, while retaining all the harsh line work and thick shadows that make...
I love the... Because he doesn't have to do that. He's just, yeah, I'm going to be cool and make a runway with my arms. Oh, Nanacha, you're too good for this part.
I don't give a about thick shadow or line work.
Yeah, it's an anime.
It looks very good.
I very rarely go, this anime looks poor.
Yeah, you know what?
It's all just baseline. Yep, it's an anime. It looks good.
Like
And
I
even-
said before, go ahead.
Even bad anime, I'm still just like, whatever. Airmaster, their designs are terrible.
Yeah, they look
Sometimes
ridiculous.
they're moving at like 2 frames a second. Still an amazing anime.
When I look at animation, I can go, wow, this is bad. Animation, to me, can only detract. It cannot enhance something for me. A beautifully animated scene means absolutely zero to me.
So little.
A poorly animated scene means a lot to me because I can go, wow, this is super jarring. If you don't jar me in your anime, I'm fine with it. So, as pretty as this look, it does not enhance it for me.
Choreography, consistency, those things make a lot more sense to me. Yeah, I feel like if the Jackie Chan fight with the dude with the long legs, if that was animated, I'd be like, I don't care. Makes a lot. It's a lot more impactful in live action. Even if it was just like the greatest animation ever, I still just be like, yeah, it's just a good fight. But in live action, that's I'm still like once a month just go, I think it's time.
Art style so distinctive, bringing to life a gorgeous depiction of sun-drenched Italy, the warm, saturated hues capturing the atmosphere and climate of that country beautifully. And it's not even just visual, the music is phenomenal. Each stand user now has their own theme music, which helps add to their individuality. Some of these tracks even directly mirroring that stand user's ability, like how Moody Blues Rewind is conveyed audibly through crunchy VCR distortion.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
That's all I can play or Warner Brothers will sue me. I could talk a lot about all the little touches that make Part 5's anime great. I mean, just look at the insanity happening on screen. This was taken from just 4 throwaway panels. But what really elevates it to me is how it leverages...
Knowing what you know about Fugo. Why do I keep saying Miso? Knowing what you know about Fugo, do you believe that he would dance like that with them?
No.
That always struck me as weird.
That's definitely an Alondra and Mista thing. And I can see Giorno doing it to try to integrate himself with the gang. But I wouldn't see Abacchio, Bruno, or Fugo doing that. I could also see Trish being pulled in by Nanacha doing something like that. That's
just not Fugo.
Not Fugo, not Abacchio, not Bruno.
I gotta talk about something here. Dude, I'm mummifying over here. This dude is just talking about superficial stuff that, hey, music good. Sure. Jojo.
of animation to bring new life to its battles, and in particular, the stand abilities that drive them. Many of the stand abilities in Part 3 were quite simple to understand. Star Platinum punches hard, Magician's Red shoots fire, The World Stops Time, and Death 13 is Freddy Krueger. Most stand abilities can be explained in just a few words, but
that's better.
So much better.
It's better to go, this is my stand, and it can do blah, 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 blah. It may have a weakness, which I'm explaining, blah, 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 blah. Not, this is my stand, blah, 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 blah. It's too much. There's too much to remember of what you can do and can't do.
Aeroplane with guns, bombs, and a detector. Zippers. Virus. Rewind time. Life. Oh, what do you mean by life? Well...